Hello and happy Sunday, everybody. Lucy and I are back. We missed last week for our show because we were at ASD. So now we are back and we are here to share with you some of the things we saw at ASD and just give some tips and thoughts and ideas for what you can do with your Amazon business given the ever changing platform of Amazon with all of its latest new restrictions and having to get re-ungated again and things. It's proving to be quite challenging for some. Now, I wondered, and somebody brought up a good point. I had posted in the Facebook group, have you been gated in things that you've been selling for a very long time? And now Amazon wants you to get invoices with substantial units, not the traditional 10 units of an item. I went to apply to sell, it was L'Oreal, it was a mascara that was on sale at Target, and Amazon wanted me to now submit an invoice with 300 or more units. And somebody brought up a good point that this may be Amazon trying to weed out the bad people, and then eventually we may just start getting auto-ungated in these things again and not having these big buy-ins, or this may be the way Amazon's platform is forevermore moving forward. That I'm unsure of. Hello, Reno. I see you there in the chat.
Yes. Hello, Reno.
And
I am bringing up, or trying to bring up,
the ASD site. So I still taken anything out of my bag. You always get these bags from vendors. They all want to give you their bag because it's free advertising for them. And they come in handy because we can fill them up with all of our booklets and handouts and pamphlets. So we did grab a lot of flyers with these companies that we think could be good for getting invoices for ungating, or using them for your Amazon, not just Amazon, but possibly your Walmart businesses as well.
So I brought up an example. I just went to a L'Oreal, I think like a mascara, and I brought up what it's now looking like. So I'd like to share the screen here so that we can see what's going on. And as you can see here, the date range is still 180 days. Your invoice needs to be within the last 180 days, including your name and address and information, matching the information on your selling account. So that's really important. A lot of people get stuck on this because it just baffles me because they'll buy it with like their husband's credit card or something. And I'm going, I mean, it has to match. And that hangs up a lot of people. Name and address of the manufacturer. Show a combined purchase of 300 units. So this one's really important because 300 units is a lot. But if you can combine that with, say, a beauty order over 10 different brands to get ungated in 10 different brands, that might be worth going. Now, this is all very, very new. So Tina and I obviously haven't like tested this out. So that's why we were at when we were at ASD, we were grabbing suppliers so that we can share them with you guys. But we have not tested anything out to see if that works or not. Omit pricing. I've never omitted pricing, but that is the same as it is before. And then please note, we may verify your submitted documents by contacting product vendors you identify in your application. This is not a retail order confirmation or invoice. So that's important right there. It needs to be a wholesale invoice. And I think that's going to kill pretty much any retail submissions that were lurking in the past. So this one is a new blurb, and this 300 is a new blurb to this application process.
Mm-hmm. So I wanted to point out something funny. So this is me printing off my badge. You print off your badge, you take it in at the desk. I know you already know what I'm going to say. There's a QR code and everything that you hand the person to get your ID badge to go inside. And you see that this one is dated correctly. Where's my date? Right there, 2025. For whatever reason, and this is my badge. It was still in my bag, or to get in the show. I had already printed that out and I wasn't sure where I had put it. So I go into my email and I type in like ASD badge. And for whatever reason in my email, I still had one from 2022. And I left in my car the day I went to ASD, this one, the correct one, not even realizing I still had a badge in my email account from 2022. I hand my paper to the clerk and he's looking it over and looking it over and asks for my ID and is checking my ID. And I thought, wow, he's being very thorough. I've never had them, check it over. He was so perplexed because I wasn't coming up with that badge. And he says, ma'am, this is dated from 2022. So he was able to find me anyway and let me in. But I thought, oh my God, how embarrassing. I was 3 years ago.
You're 3 years old. 3 years too old there. I am bringing up some of the things here. But yeah, so I thought we would talk about, in general, ASD, like who should go to ASD.
Yes.
And the intents there. ASD is, and don't ask me what it stands for. I looked it up a long time ago and it's morphed over the years, but it is the largest business to business wholesale convention.
It's something Source Direct.
Yeah, it's Source Direct. Might be American. No, it's not American. It was something Source Direct. I could Google it, but they have several sections and it's for pretty much anybody looking for inventory. Now, some of the sections are, one is just international. So if you were looking to get things like rugs or beauty products or whatever from a different country, there's a whole section for international acquired inventory. There's some really cool cutting edge things or new products coming out that are highlighted in that area. There is a cash and carry area. So if you were looking to get, let's say, necklaces and purses, and there's a lot of necklaces, purses, earrings, jewelry, in a whole section that you need to pay cash for, hence the cash and carry. Sometimes they will take card, but they will typically charge a fee. But let's say you owned a little shop on the beach and you wanted to get 200 pairs of earrings and bracelets and whatnot to have your inventory for the whole year, because maybe you don't sell that much of them, or you need to make contacts to buy jewelry like that. This is a great area to go and buy a bunch of that stuff. Now, I'm pretty sure some of those people buy it in bulk and then sell it at the local, what do you call it, like swap meets and little shops that they own. Definitely. But it's also a great place to go if you're looking for gifts personally while you're there for business. So I would in the past go and get like some keychains for my workers or get Christmas presents for people. They just have a lot of cute little things that you can get. And it gives you ideas for how to market your brand too. So if you are a jewelry maker or a purse maker, you can kind of see what is hot, what is trending, how do you set up your jewelry. It's a great place for that. There's a lot of gold and real jewelry as well. So if you are into not the costume, but the real stuff, and also there's a lot of rocks too. So if you're into the whole gem things, the quartz and rosemary, not rosemary quartz, rose quartz. I'm cooking with rosemary. Rose quartz is the rock. Just those types of gems, that would be a great place to go as well. Then Tina and I've been hanging out with my daughter. I almost called you Emily. But Tina and I, we hung out in the area that is targeting for sales. Now, sometimes they really want to not be working with online people, and sometimes they don't care. But this is kind of where if you owned any sort of store and you wanted to get wholesale items for your store, that's the section we were in. And we go to the, it's not called closeout, but what do you call it? Like overstock, discount, liquidation. That's an area that we go to. And then we also go to kind of the other area where it is, if you're a sock manufacturer, all those funny socks that come out that you see in the airport and all the stores, all the drugstores, they're there. So you can go and make an account with them and then get either the product or get the displays with the product on them. So we will hang out there. We saw lots of things for Christmas vendors, Christmas stock. If you were any sort of store, Rite Aid, Target, you're going to have a representative that's going and kind of meeting with these vendors and seeing what's hot, what's not, what kind of orders do you want to make for this year for whatever the season is or the product type is. Then there is a gas I'll call it the gas station area. I don't know what else to call it, but this area has all the fun stuff. Anything kinky, anything drug related, anything that you would sell in a gas station is going to be in this area. So we're talking like small little products, little things of toilet paper or Tide that you'd put on your gas station shelf, all of the candies, and then all of the drug paraphernalia. So wrappers, pipes, bongs, anything, hats, blankets, any of those weird things, or not weird, but things that you would find in the gas station. That's kind of a fun area. And if I had been walking better, then I would have gone to more areas, but I am still not walking very great. And we wanted to just make our time worth it and went to the ones that we needed to go to. Let's see here. Am I missing any sections? I'm trying to think.
So.
It's kind of the four big ones that I know of.
And if anybody needs online, they have their online directory. You're given a book when you go to the show. So, of course, in here, all of those vendors are listed and by category. But all of this is available also on the website. In fact, any trade show's website you go to, whether you're going to attend it or not, always has a list of all of their distributors and vendors that are going to be there. So that is a great way to find wholesale accounts. You can attend the trade shows or you can just find them online and see what vendors are there. And it's a great way to find some wholesalers.
All right, so I'm going to dive into their website because we're not going to show the little book, but the book is nice. I bring the book home because then you can look at. You can just go to any of the pages and kind of take a look and see if you remember kind of what area you were in and you want to track down some vendors. But it's easier to go to their online website, and you do not have to. You can register. I think you get a little bit more access if you register and log in. But you don't really need it.
Free, so
say what?
And registration is free. Some trade shows have a cost associated with them, and others like this one are free.
Yeah. So this one was March 9th to the 12th. It runs Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We were able to get early access into Saturday, but we didn't wind up going. And then Wednesday, I don't really recommend going on Wednesday because most of the vendors are shutting up. If you want to buy an entire booth, though, Wednesday's a good, you'll need to go and figure that out on Wednesday. People will take bids for the booths, and they'll usually have a sign on them saying like booth for sale, and you can talk to them. So if you want to buy a booth, get there early, like go Saturday or Sunday and lock in that booth because by Wednesday they're all sold. But Wednesday you have to go and kind of like get your stuff from the booth. And that's kind of fun. I've never bought a whole booth because like I'm not going to haul it back anywhere. You have to arrange for shipping. Anyhow, there's a lot of ins and outs to go with that, but that's kind of fun to know. Some will say booth for sale. Some will say booth not for sale. All right. If you go into their exhibitor, you can search by all sorts of things here. Category, new exhibit, keywords, country, state. So, this might be good to search if you are interested in something in the East Coast or the West Coast. Tina and I typically buy from West Coast vendors because the shipping is so much cheaper. We're talking at least $400 a pallet to ship that we save on if we order it from California versus, say, Chicago or New York. And then, let's see, I thought there was somewhere to do ASD friendly. It might just be e-commerce friendly.
Yeah, one of those tabs will sort it that way. All of those little tabs, you can click them like a Google sheet and they will sort it by that topic that you would like. If they are e-commerce friendly, it tells you if they are private label, if they do drop shipping. I know many of you look for these different type of features when you're trying to hunt down and find suppliers. So that does make it really helpful there.
So there's 3 pages of e-commerce friendly vendors here. That doesn't mean that other players, other vendors will not sell to you at all. But if you are just trying to find somebody and you're having trouble finding vendors to work with, start here. Start with the ones that are like, yes, we don't care if you are selling online or not. So we've got, I'm just going to click on one here. I probably should have opened it in another one. But we've got, what is this? Mellow Munchies. I have no idea what that is. Let's pick
probably
it up.
from a CBD probably from that floor.
Probably, maybe. And I've had people reach out and be like, I had one the other day that said we were looking for people to sell our brand. Okay, well, I'm not really interested because I want brands that are already selling. I'm not interested in promoting your product. I want to promote my own products. Let's see here. CBD trading. I'm trying to think who else is a good one that has a bunch of things.
At Jammin Products, I
Oh
recognize
yeah.
their name.
Jammin is one of my faves. We like to go there. Let's look at their products. I'm sure I don't remember they did perfume. I thought they did more. Did I click on the right thing?
I don't think you clicked on the right thing.
Oh, I did not. Okay. I was looking. I did not. All right. So Jammin Products, let's go over. They do toys. They will do name brand toys. I don't remember if they had it, what MOQ they had or not, but this is a good place to do toys. What have we bought? Stuffed animals in the past?
Yeah, so if you're needing Ungate in a certain name brand of toys, if they have them, this is the type of company that will get you that correct invoice that Amazon needs in order to ungate you.
Let's see how I check out their products. It keeps saying to check out their products, but I click and
If you
nothing.
have the R brands, maybe you can see what kind of that third one. And there they have Disney.
Let's click Marvel.
Yeah.
There we go.
Now, I want to say a lot of times these companies, you can get these items, you can get them, wholesale from them because they're an authorized distributor. But more often than not, these items are not going to produce you a profit on Amazon. And I think that was the thing that was very frustrating for me in my early years of going to these trade shows is how do I find a good supplier? Everything I'm finding is not profitable. I just don't get it. And that used to really halt me in my journey. And I was wondering how these people were buying this stuff. Well, there are vendors there that do have things that are profitable, but then there are vendors like that one there with the toys that are more likely not going to really make you a profit. But what they do is they get you ungated in that brand because they are an authorized supplier. Then that opens you back up to going back to Walmart, back to Target, back to Ross, Marshalls, the stores where you are acquiring that brand name of a toy. So it's kind of the cost of getting you ungated.
Absolutely. The other things that you can do, because I like to kind of search by hand when I'm looking for things. I don't know. I like doing that. But if you're going to go this route, what you'll want to do is make the connection and then I'll put it back up for you. Make the connection. And then what you're going to do is ask for an Excel spreadsheet of their products. And you'll usually get on a list with the sales representative and they'll, because it's he and she's, they will send you that list sometimes twice a day. So you got to set up your email filters because sometimes it's really crazy how many times they're going to send you these catalogs of what their current inventory is. You can take that Excel spreadsheet with a little bit of formatting, run it through Keepa, and Keepa will do all the analysis for you. They will tell you if the item is listed and which ones are good and which ones are not, and then you can make your order. This is something that you can train your VAs to do, that you can do yourself, that you can definitely set up and streamline to get these things, zip it through, see what's good, see what's not good, and then make your orders. So this one was Jammin Products, Marvelin. And hi, Christelle. Nice to see you in the chat too. I'm glad you went out of stock before you got gated. That's nice.
Yeah.
I also want to bring up Powerhouse because
Yes,
I've
that's
bought
another
from them
good
too.
toy one. Yes, I've bought from this company for many years. I know Lucy didn't have a great experience last time she bought from them, and they were very, very slow on their shipping. So it does seem to be hit and miss in which of the speed of their shipping. However, their invoices have always worked with Amazon for ungating, and With this company, I have also found many items that did produce profit. Not all the things, you have to dig through these sites to find the things that are going to be profitable. But this is a company located in Texas, and you can get ungated with their invoices, and they carry a lot of different toy brands.
Yep. And you can go to their closeouts. I mean, it's not showing prices because you probably have to make an account and log in.
Yeah.
And when you make an account, you're going to need to have your reseller permit because they want to see that you're a reseller and you're not going to get charged taxes. And then sometimes EIN, but that's about it. And you should have your reseller permit if you're doing this type of business. But you can go and log in, and the closeouts is probably where you'd best get your best bang for your buck if you need to order 300 combined units, now that we have to order that much, to make your dollar go a little bit further. Because, they've got a lot of name brands right here. We've got Peppa the Pig. I didn't even know Justin Bieber was a thing anymore. Like, does Justin Bieber even sell stuff? I mean, sell? That's kind of crazy.
I think he'll always be a thing, but as far as selling old merchandise, unlikely. However, that's probably why that's in the closeout. It's like when you see old JoJo Siwa stuff from when she was young.
Yeah, exactly. We got, I don't know what this is. Mezco Creep Show.
Yeah, Christelle, I want to bring up, Christelle says that, how do you say it, Nepeto or Nepeto? I'm not very sure. Nepeto sounds like Pinocchio. Has a feature you can download a PDF from a wholesaler and it will reverse search. Never used it, but I've seen it on the dashboard. Yes, I just got the Pioneer bundle with Martyr, and they have that. I haven't tried it yet either, but I'm looking forward to.
I already pay for Keepa, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. We got Encanto. I don't know what Pudgy. We got Despicable Me. So, go ahead and take a look at that one too. We wanted to share with you guys actual websites that you could use. So let's see here. We're going to move on. What was the exhibitor? What did we do here?
And I have one to share. I have a little flyer that I can share.
Oh, yeah. I got that one too. Oh. I can bring up their website. Go ahead and share the flyer.
Yeah. So this flyer I picked up because a lot of us are getting gated in, household items. And this is one of those companies that sells more to like those little general stores you have in your towns. You may find profitable items on here. You may not find profitable items on here. Again, sometimes we don't care. We just want to get that ungate. So this company is called JC Sales, and they sell things like Nivea. They have some name brand and some like dollar store kind of branded items. They do have Glad trash bags, Febreze, just on this little flyer right here. And as you see there on the screen of Lucy sharing their site, this would be a company that you could get a wholesale account with. Their invoices should work. They were at ASD. They have unbranded things like you can see right here. And then they have branded things like that, Polydent, for instance. And if you need to get ungated in health and beauty, or you want to get brand ungated, say for Polydent, these can be inexpensive buys because companies like this usually have some lower priced items.
Yes, definitely like this. And this is one where, this toy kite that you're getting, it looks like Marvel, Cinderella, My Little Pony, and
Paw Patrol.
Thank you. I was like, I couldn't remember because my kids didn't miss Paw Patrol. Thank God. We did not have them. But you could use that invoice, depending on how the invoice is written, for all four things. It depends if your invoice says licensed characters,
assorted.
Thank you, assorted. Then that invoice is not going to work. So you need to watch out for that.
It does include the barcodes, however. I can see down that last line item is the barcodes. If the barcodes come on your invoice like that, it's possible.
That is absolutely right. So let's go to Amazon. Possibly. Come on, computer, you can do it.
Yeah, that particular barcode is not on. Yeah.
They're not. And that it might be because they're not in the catalog yet, or
Yeah.
they're under a G10 exemption or a generic.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have to watch that. All right, let's go
But
back.
this company does have a wide variety of type of merchandise, and they were at the ASD show. So I thought that could be helpful for some of you as well if you're needing to get those Ungates. Here was a card I picked up. I
got 2 cards right here, so okay. We are good to go on that. This one was one that we looked at. 26 California wholesale.
Mm-hmm.
Minimum order policy is $200, so this will be a good one.
Yeah, and what's good about that is a lot of times people are afraid that, what are the buy costs are too expensive to get a wholesale. And as you see, that's very low. I find a lot of wholesalers that are even $100 as their minimum buy. Then there are some other companies that do have some very high buy costs. But I want to say on average, most of the companies that I've had to buy from or open up accounts with them, their minimum opening order is $500 or less.
Yes. Let's see here. Okay. For the JC, the registration is going to require your name, company, phone number, email, password. Those are all, you should have all that. And then you're going to click I'm over 18, and then whether you want to sign up for stuff. And then let's see if they have an MOQ over here. Yes, so this one is going to be $1,000 MOQ. Where did I just go? 26 is going to be a $200 MOQ, which is not too bad. Now, I'm trying to remember what 26 had on the back of it. Oh, they had Bonita, Promax. Do you have this card on you?
I do, but it's down in my bag. I don't have it right here on my table.
Well, Tina. All right, I got to find this one. So I was having trouble. This one is called Cool Home. And they were out of New Jersey. So I got to find that. Cool Home out of New Jersey. All right. Did you have any other ones that you wanted to share?
A couple, just for different selling points because a lot of us sell more than just Amazon. You know, like a lot in the chat, I know are also Walmart sellers because we were chatting about the Pioneer bundle.
This is all rugs. I don't remember this being a rug place.
You probably grabbed it because you were looking at some booths that had some cute like shower curtains and things. So I bet they had shower curtains that you liked.
Okay. That's probably it. Let's see. Well,
for whatever reason they're not showing. So a couple of thoughts that I had. So this is one that I picked up. I picked up a few of these. Is these liquidation companies. So this
Liquidation Unlimited. Okay.
Yes. Now this would not work for getting you ungated, okay? Because Amazon does not accept liquidation buys for ungating. But the reason why I grabbed this is because there has been an interest in the community, and I have a friend that sells on Whatnot. And a lot of people are doing quite well on Whatnot as Whatnot sellers. And for those of you that don't know what Whatnot is, it's an app. You can download this app and people do live shopping shows, and most people watch it through their phones. And you're selling, right out of your house. I've seen Whatnot shows where people are selling right from shows. They're either going to trade shows. They're selling right from the Goodwill or the Goodwill bins before they've even bought the merchandise. Whatnot is a really interesting platform. And I've met a couple of people that make their living on just Whatnot. Well, Whatnot won't have these ungating restrictions and restrictions in the way that Amazon and eBay and Walmart might have. And so these type of companies, these liquidation companies can be great for eBay, where we don't have to produce an invoice unless someone claims something is fake, I guess. But I think this is a lot safer for eBay. And this is great for those of you that would want to sell on Whatnot. Now, there are a lot of liquidation companies at ASD. Many of them have really great stuff. They're either closeouts from stores like CVS and Walgreens. You can even get closeouts from companies like Macy's and Costco. It can be beauty items, it could be food. The food, though, is usually close to or at expiration. And there is, did I already say clothing? and a lot of clothing. So when you buy from these pallets, you usually can select the quality. You either want overstock, which is the higher price pallets because it's all brand new, nothing's wrong with it. It was just overstock. And you can also choose from a lot of these different companies customer returns. Now, those get to be riskier because of those returns. Sometimes nothing is wrong with the items at all. It's just open box, so it couldn't be resold as new, and there was nothing wrong with it, mixed in with stuff that customers used was broken. So those type of lots are riskier, but they usually cost less. So it's just a matter of what your risk tolerances. So a liquidation pallet, I think, is great for a Whatnot seller and great for an eBay seller.
Yes. Along with that, so you do have to be kind of careful because if you have things that are returned and they are missing pieces, because that's a pretty big scam at the big box stores. You go to Target, you buy a coffee pot, you steal the one piece that broke on your coffee pot at home, you return it because now you've got your replacement part, and Target puts those in those liquidation lots. So you kind of have to go over and know what you're looking for, make sure all the pieces, parts are there before selling them. Hey, April, nice to see you.
And with that being said, if that's the case, like on eBay, parts sell. So that's what made me think of that is when you said somebody took off the part that they needed. You can take, say, a coffee pot or food processor, if you got it in a liquidation pallet that was customer returns and maybe it was damaged, and sell off just the parts of that food processor, and sometimes make more money than selling the food processor alone on eBay.
Yeah. Hey, Brooklyn, not sure what you're talking about, but you said hazmat products. Yes, you can buy and sell hazmat products. Mm-hmm. Nope, I'm not sure who's saying it was fake. Batteries and chemicals is not prohibited by UPS or Amazon. They're just as extra regulations going along with them. So you have to do them properly, and you have to be part of their hazmat program, which I am. So I have definitely shipped and sold batteries and chemicals before. And perfumes, sprays, those are probably the ones that will get you the most. Any sort of perfume in or spray is going to be considered a chemical.
Yeah.
So you'll have to do extra. It needs to ship ground, and it needs to have some hazmat warnings on there. As far as fake goes, all the companies we're showing you here, and I wouldn't say everyone at ASD. You do have to watch out at ASD because we have seen fake products in the perfume section.
Mm-hmm.
Should have brought that up. There's a whole section on just perfumes. There is fake perfumes there. What did I saw? I saw it wasn't CK1. Is that the big one is name brand CK? It was like CJ instead of CK, and it was.
Yeah, so I don't know that those are fakes. They're just
dupes, it was fake.
Right? No, but they're called a different name because they're like a dupe of that scent. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. It was a dupe. You don't want to. You need to watch
out on eBay.
Possibly.
Well, because they're not fakes. They're just dupes. There's a difference. If it's CK1 and it's not really CK1 and they're labeling it as such and boxing it and it's a knockoff, well, then that's a knockoff. But if it
was more like that. But
if it's okay. But if it was like CJ1 and it was just like a dupe of that scent, those are not.
We were walking a fine line. And then I have had a couple vendors where you ask them if they are selling licensed product, and they're like, no, it's not licensed. And so that means they don't have a license to sell that. So if they are selling licensed type items, like such as Marvel and Disney, then it's not. I would stay away from them. You find that more in the gas station-y area than other things. All right, I wanted to bring this one. I just typed in, closeouts for sale. This one actually has a whole spot on FBA. So I will click it. This is HJ Closeouts. Rock bottom pricing, newly added. All our products have UPC and GS1s, downloadable spreadsheets, so you can upload and do that. And then let's see here. Do you follow prep requirements? Yes. So they may ship directly to Amazon. We cannot take responsibility for any item that is restricted to sell. It's the buyer's responsibility to make sure you can. You're gonna find that with everyone. There are some that will ship directly.
Gated or not, right?
Yeah, there are some that will ship directly to Amazon, but you need to supply them the labels. You need to supply them the shipping labels, and you need to make sure that you are allowed to sell it. They are not going to take back. They will drop it off at your front door and still charge you for it. Let's see here. But this one looks really good. I'm going to pop that into the chat. Take a look at their items right here. Some of these are going to be kind of junky, cat tunnel, very Alibaba-ish. What is this?
It's a little flame nightlight.
Nightlight. Okay.
Kind of
emoji
cute.
cards. I'm not seeing anything really name brand.
Yeah.
Seeing a lot of just junk.
And if a lot of these things were unbranded, I imagine you could create your own listing and brand it yourself.
True.
And have them ship it in to your account, because a lot of this definitely looks unbranded, which is good. It could then become your private label item possibly.
Yeah.
My question to them would be, do they always carry it? Or are these liquidation, like once it's done, it's done? So that's the kind of thing with this type of a website.
Yep. Absolutely. Oh, here we go. Tea tree. Finally. Earth Therapeutics. So this is $1.50 a piece. So we'll just dive into that really quick. And it gives you the UPC code right here. And then you would go over to Amazon, put in that UPC code, and it's not going to show up.
And if it was there, they've removed it. But I would be concerned that Amazon wouldn't take them their invoice as an authorized distributor, because the name of their company is closeouts, and Amazon does not accept closeouts as valid invoices. So I would have to say I wouldn't recommend that one to try to get ungated with them. I have another card. I don't recall what this company was, but I definitely thought it was good enough to grab. My guess is it's probably lotions and soaps and things to get people those invoices for beauty.
All right, just 1 minute.
Called Bay Sales, so it does not have the word closeout in their title. Amazon definitely looks for words like closeout and liquidation in an invoice, and that is always a red flag. So try to avoid those if you can.
So I wanted to pop up though that they were going for $1. What was it?
I want to say it was $2.50, or was it $1.50 or $2.50?
Hold on, now I got too many tabs open.
There it is.
$1.50 a piece.
$1.50.
So this is a 6-pack going for $18. So what is that? $6, $7, $8, $9 cost of goods, and sell it for $18. You still got to figure in shipping. This one's 3-pack. So I mean, there is definitely money to be made with these closeout type places. 50-pack, Jiminy.
Look in the solds. Actually, click the solds. See if any of them actually sold or not.
This one sold back in the beginning of February. So maybe not the best.
Yeah, but you never know.
Yep. You got to keep poking around. And you can pair that with other things too. It's not, there's Walmart we could look at. There is bundles on different platforms that we could look at. There's definitely a lot of options.
Whatnot store, if you have your Whatnot store and all you're selling is beauty items, you could throw together a collection of things there. There are so many possibilities online for making money. And that's where you have to keep an open mind with the different type of suppliers and what you're willing or interested in doing in ways of what platforms you want to sell on.
Absolutely. Let's see here. Okay. Looks like we got a bunch of school stuff. I'm going to pop that.
Okay. So maybe I grabbed this because I was thinking, this would be a great site for back to school sales. And this company is located in Pennsylvania. And I know back to school season is huge for online selling. So that's probably why I grabbed it. And possibly they had crayons, like Crayola crayons too. Maybe they had branded things. I know a lot of people have trouble getting Crayola brand. When I grabbed the cards, I grabbed them for a reason. It's different when you're actually at the booth and can see their product live.
I have not gone through our pictures yet. So
Yeah.
we take a lot of pictures there and then get the business cards as well. And then I got to kind of go back through my pictures and
And then
see.
I had another card I grabbed that had food products. And this company is also located in the East Coast. They are from Pennsylvania, and they are MJ Candy and Closeouts.
MJ Candy and Closeouts. Okay, I'm on it. Oops.
And so they had candy. So on the back of this card, they list Oreo and some different brands. And they spent, like, this is like a credit card kind of a card where most people do the paper card. So I was like, wow, they really invested in their cards.
I'm struggling. Look at this. So you look it up and we've got Closeout Central. They're not Closeout Central that are this, but there's no website.
Let me see if their card lists a website. They just have an email. And it is just a candy and chocolate wholesale distribution. Well, that is them. So it could be a company that you just have to call by phone, perhaps.
No. What is this? I'm trying to, if they have a DUNS number, they're usually pretty legit.
Legit, yeah.
I'll pull them up in a minute if you have anything else you wanted to chat about for a second.
This is a supplier I've bought from. They have a very big booth called Regent. So Regent has a lot of like dumb, dollar store kind of stuff. But what they do have is some brand name candy. So like those little marshmallow, like the Peeps, they'll have the seasonal Ghost Peep and then they have like the cotton candy in a bag. And so they do have some name brand candies if you should need Ungating in food or certain name brands of candies. A lot of their other stuff, you would have to get really creative to sell it. They're a really big booth. They've been around for many years. I have bought from them before, and they are located in Illinois.
I'll go to Regent in just a second, but all I found was I keep going back to this phone number. So,
yeah, and sometimes I got to tell you, you might see a red flag with something like this. For me, these are the kind of suppliers I love because they don't have a huge online presence. Usually there's still a mom and pop type of company, or they've been in that area for so long. They already have their big accounts. They don't really need to have a website for the public, like a lot of these other ones, like Regent, who has huge competition, big booths at ASD. Lots of people see them. Lots of people shop them. It creates for bigger competition. Sometimes when you find those more obscure mom and pop, that it's harder to find their website, especially if they carry some unique candy or some unique item. It makes it harder for people that are possibly scrubbing your store to find this unique item because you have found a very unique supplier. Those tend to be my number one and favorite wholesale vendors to buy from.
Yes. So I put Mustafa's name and phone number in the chat here. So if you are wanting to reach out for wholesale candy, you can do that. I don't know, again, if they'd be an authorized.
Yeah, I've never bought from them. These were just some cards of booths I thought looked interesting for our community, knowing that a lot of us are being hit hard with needing to re-ungate and things.
Oh my God, Tina, I want this cat mug.
Oh, it's a little cat inside the pumpkin.
Yeah. And it says too cute.
That is cute.
This is something that I would totally
want to bundle with.
Or put it up as generic. And it's only $1.20.
Very cute.
Available quantity 46. So they only have 46 available. And this is one of those things that you could put up on your Walmart account. You could put up on Amazon. You could put up in your eBay store. You could probably sell it at a garage sale and make money off of it.
Yeah.
And
this company I see right there above that is a 1,500 minimum order, and they are strictly wholesale only. But that's okay too, especially if you are a bigger buyer or you have bought from them and have found some good items that you need to replenish. That's, this could be a great account with a great big buy cost. And it also weeds out the smaller people who don't have that much money to start out with on buying things. But there we see, there goes that candy. There goes those junior mints, that almond roca. So they do have branded candy that can get you ungates if you are restricted in those.
And with things like this, the Charleston chew, which this is what my mom's favorite. Tempted to buy her just the whole thing there, but you wouldn't look up just one box of junior mints because it's $1.20. It's maybe a movie theater style box. Mm-hmm. These are typically you're gonna find listings that are about like a 3-pack, or you want to do something multi-pack with them.
The downside to this company is, see how it shows the little cardboard thing, like what they'd be in at the grocery store. When you order from them, they send that to you as well, because they do sell to a lot of stores. So the reason why I say that that's the downside is because it does add to the weight of the pallet that they send to you, because they send the entire display case that you would put that in as if you're the retail store, and you can't ask them to not send it because that's how they receive it, boxed in their case pack. So you're going to get those displays.
Yeah. Just looking at the candy fluff. So here you go. You got a 3-pack for $12, and they were $1 something a piece. So what is that? Like $4 cost of goods, and it's going for $11 right there. Now you'd obviously need to see what the shipping is going to be, all of that. So the single might even be, let's see, what's the rank? There's no rank there. Golly, stop popping up. I'm just going to move my cursor over. The pack of 12 is going for $26, $163 in rank. This is $109 in rank. That one might be profitable.
That one's a bundle. You can tell by that little candy icon down in the corner.
Who is that? Okay, well, you would want to go in and find the best listing. I mean, we could rabbit trail all day long.
Yeah.
We've got that. I like this one, with the unicorns. All right.
And I do have one last card that I thought I could share. I don't remember what they have. Don't remember, but I picked it up for a reason. I did write on the top that they were out of Miami, New York. In my chicken scratch handwriting, I can actually read that. One World Distributors.
From New York?
Do not remember what One World Distributors carried, but I did grab their card.
Is it from...
Their website is 1WDIST.
Got it. There. They are in New York.
Beauty.
Say
so
what?
I wonder if they had some beauty name brands, is why I grabbed their card. So a lot of times these businesses, their cards don't, I need reminders. Like, why did I pick you up? Okay, so it's another one of these companies that has the variety of things. So if they had Pampers, Huggies, Scott, Tide, Glade. So they had a lot. Colgate is on there.
Let me go back to this. Where was Colgate?
See, I was working with somebody who needed a Dove ungating, and there's Dove, Colgate. So when I work with some people one-on-one, I like to be able to help guide them to some different companies that can help them.
So like this deodorant is going to be hazmat, so you'll want to be unlocked for that. Bars of soap. I used to sell this Dove exfoliating stuff. The coconut. We have run out of stock for this product. Pooey. Why is it still on your website?
This could be a possible site for anybody needing some ungating, or maybe they have some things that are profitable for you.
It's like almost $6 a jar though, at $26.95.
And how much are they on Walmart?
Not $6.
Target.
Because at Target you can get it with the beauty coupons and stuff for around $4 or $5.
I see.
How you spell exfoliating?
FOL. There you go.
It's the end of the day. All right. Oh, never mind. $7.99. So it is a little bit cheaper. When they go on sale, though, I swear they do like 2 for $6 or something.
And
here we go.
they
$5 Target card with 3.
You buy 3.
So what is that? Oh, geez. They make you math way too much to figure that crud out. But let's see here. Was that it? Yeah. Did you want to share this website?
If anybody wants it.
Put that down in the chat.
So hopefully those of you watching found this helpful. We don't do videos like this very often where we share a lot of suppliers. Generally, these are kind of the things we will keep to ourselves. But given the nature of what's been going on with Amazon, when we were at the show, Lucy and I said, hey, let's grab some cards for our audience of these type of suppliers, because all of us are being hit very hard. And a lot of you know our story of last year, how we were hit so very hard with our Amazon suspensions, and getting our accounts back was a long journey. And the terrain of Amazon has been changing quite a bit over the last few years. And we know what a burden that can be. And I know a lot of you are facing those same burdens, not necessarily losing your accounts, but just things that you've been able to sell for so many years, you now can't. You've got to get re-ungated in them. And we just wanted to be able to pass on a little bit of help your way too.
Well, and I'm sure there's people out there that are stuck with, say, $2,000 worth of inventory that they're now gated on. And so spending $500 to get an invoice to get on Gate is worth that, whether it makes you money or not. Let's see here.
Marvelyn, you
right
asked,
here,
yeah,
where it says $5 Target gift card with 3 select Dove personal deals. So that means if I buy 3 of these for $24, I'm going to get $5 off. And they're always running some sort of beauty coupon or deal.
Target, like Walgreens, the different sites, Marvelyn, will have clippable coupons right there on the page. So it's not like a special coupon that you just go get and can cut out or clip off of some other website. They're usually posted right there on Target, but they will have these sales that cycle through. Buy $50 of household items, and it will be things like paper plates and paper towels, and if you spend $50, you get a $10 Target gift card. Or so they just cycle through these types of sales. And of course, in your weekly mailers, in your mailbox with your grocery ads, tucked inside of there will be coupons that you could cut out, like paper coupons. Target on their app has clippable coupons that you can go through and see. So that's pretty much where you would find the coupons on the sites.
Brown Girl, L'Oreal. Yeah, who did we?
I don't remember, but some of these vendors will have L'Oreal. If you don't want to go back and rewatch, you can go to the ASD website, find the beauty suppliers, and scroll through those that sell beauty. Yeah. And some of them may have L'Oreal. I don't recall. All the wholesalers make my brain jumble, but everything will definitely be in this video in how you can find those things.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who had the L'Oreal.
And maybe none of them had specifically L'Oreal, and we just talked about it. I don't remember. It's been an hour of chatting.
Well, you get so jumbled, and that's why we have to take notes and
and that's why with those business cards, if I don't write on there what they had that I was interested in or where they're I forget, because the cards are so very vague.
Yes, the cards are very big. And then what Tina and I did, our like strategy is, because I think we should talk about that for just a minute here, is, we conveyed like, what is our goals for this year? What do we want to do? And what sections do we want to look at? What days do we want to go? How do we want to plan that out? And kind of have just a rough outline. Like, we didn't schedule it to the T, but we knew that, okay, we're going to go Sunday morning. We're going to go for this amount of time, and we're going to hit this section. And our goal was twofold. One, to get ungating information to share with our channel and our fiber clients, but also then what items are we going to be selling this year and go after them. Then when we were done, we got was it Starbucks? Yes, Starbucks drink. Dunkin' Donuts is closed, unfortunately, but we got a Starbucks drink and we sat down and then we kind of hashed out what our top ideas for the year were going to be that we are going to be working on, because it's all fresh in your mind and you can kind of sit and rest your feet for a minute and go through the catalogs and go through, the vendors and kind of pick out your top ones. And then we came home and now we have our plan and we're ready to go through the year. That was all I wanted to say.
Da, da, da.
And then
So if you guys found our show helpful, please give us a thumbs up on our channels. It helps us on YouTube and we appreciate it. And I want to thank you guys for joining us today. And if you have this on replay and you're watching this after it was live and have questions, please comment below. We answer all of your questions. If not, down below in the comment section, we definitely answer them on the next show. So we will see you here again next Sunday, same time. I know for some of you it's been hard to get used to, or you didn't realize we moved to a new day and time. So for those of you who found us live, thank you for joining.
Yep, thank you. Have a good day. Have a good week.
We'll see you next weekend.